Hey, hey, hey. Welcome back to the Buddy Show. We are prime time, coast to coast, and once again, border to border. So I got a comment on my first video from my friend Pam thanking me for talking about cost of living numbers, and so I thought I'd go into that a little bit more. The first thing I think that expats need to get used to, and you never get used to it, but you're always aware of it, is the exchange rate. And I'll give you an example. When I first moved to Guadalajara, the guy I had heard about the studio from told me the rent is about $350. And I thought, great, that's no problem. I knew that it came with internet and electricity. In Guadalajara, there is no heat or air conditioning. And so I thought 350 bucks, that's great. So he showed me the room. I decided to take it. We had a gentleman's agreement for the price he would quote me. I would stay 6 months, which I did. Actually, I stayed a little longer than that. But he told me the price was 7,000 pesos. So in between him coming back for the money, which is the next day, and me settling in that day, I looked online, and lo and behold, it was $315 with the exchange rate. So that was even greater. Uh, Over the 6 months I lived in Guadalajara, it did go up by the exchange rate to $350 or so. Now it's about 340, I think, is the exchange rate. And so rent is really the biggest expense. I'm not going to do a breakout of how much I spent on what, but that amount of money was about a third of my Social Security at the time. And so that left me with two-thirds for eating and drinking and entertainment and that sort of stuff, which, as a older guy, that's really all there is. So that was really handy. I was able to save money every month. From there, I moved, as I said in the first video, to Bali, Indonesia, and I was paying 4,500,000 rupiah a month for both of the places I lived, and that was also throughout the whole time I was there about $350. It's now, I think, $300, so even better exchange rate. And so here in Mexico, I'll go by the prices here in San Luis Potosi. I often stop with my friends and we buy a gordita on the street. This woman has them in a basket covered with gingham cloth, and you just buy a gordita, and they are 10 pesos each, which is about 50 cents. So being able to eat breakfast for 50 cents or a dollar, if I'm splurging, is also pretty good. We go to one of our local taco shops, and tacos are, I think, 12 pesos each. So three tacos was 36 pesos, which is, I don't know, $3, $4, something like that. Again, very, very inexpensive. Um, and when I moved to Bali, I would often go in the morning to the morning market, and I was almost without exception the only foreigner, which is bule in Indonesian, in the market ever. The whole 6 months I was there, and I would buy little paper packets of nasi campur, which it means in Indonesian mixed rice. So it would be, a dollop of rice with meat or fish and a bunch of veggies and maybe some tempeh and a dollop of really, really hot red sauce. And those would cost me 10,000 rupiah each, which is about 67 cents. So I could eat a delicious, filling meal for 67 cents. And I ate mostly Indonesian food for the first 4 or 5 months. I finally got a little tired of it because I literally ate it every day. It was really just delicious. I'd also buy stuff from GrabCar, which again was, to get it delivered with a tip, was about 250. Um, and second place had a pool, and also utilities included again, which I did have air conditioning. Bali is 8 degrees south of the equator, so you need it. And I moved to my second place because it had a pool. The first place I lived in was a two-bedroom house that I was subletting, and it didn't have a pool. And a pool is absolutely needed just to cool off in the afternoon. So I could eat literally all day for under a dollar. No, under $2 uh, for the whole day. I was eating and still do today, eating 2 meals a day. Um, if I wanted to eat 3 meals a day, it would have been, you know, 250 a day. So I mean, it's very inexpensive to eat in foreign countries. Um, I'm trying to think what else I wanted to say about that. Electricity was pretty cheap. I would pay my electricity. I would have to read the meter, bring the meter to the equivalent of a 7-Eleven, give her the number and say, here's how much I want. I want 100,000 rupees worth. And then that would last me, I can't remember, it's been a long time since I've been there, but 3 weeks or so, or a month maybe, because I did use air conditioning. Not all day. That's a way you're going to save money. Electricity, some places like the Philippines, is very expensive. And so, if you want to live a Western lifestyle in these countries, it's going to cost you. Um, Here in Mexico, I think the best pizza I ever had was Domino's, so that's going to give you an idea about the quality of pizza elsewhere. You could probably buy a better pizza at a fancy restaurant, but I I'm cheap and you could say frugal, but um, if you eat local, which that's why one of the reasons I move places is so I can eat the food that they are famous for, then you can live very, very inexpensively. Rent being your highest outlay of funds. Um, let's see. I'm just trying to think. I'm doing. I don't script these, so it's all spontaneous. Um, you can live a Western lifestyle in foreign countries. As I said, it's going to cost you. If but if you, my experience is, and I don't have a girlfriend. That may, I hope, change, and so that's going to be an additional outlay of money. But being a single retired guy in foreign countries, I find it very, very easy to live for under $1,000. In fact, typically I would spend throughout the time that I've been in other countries $600 to $800 a month, splurging going to $900 a month, and that would still give me a couple of $100 to save every month. So, I've always been a saver. Um, I would not suggest you become an expat if you don't have a steady income. So it's one of the advantages about being retired is there is a steady income. If you can make money overseas, you need to have a job ahead of time. You generally can't get a job because they want locals to have the jobs. But if you have a specialty and you get hired by a company, if you make $2,000 a month, you can live like royalty. I mean, at least the way I would understand it. And I've seen on some Facebook groups, is it possible that I could live for $5,000? I mean, there's no way, in my opinion, you could spend $5,000 a month on anything unless you're living crazy. Um, so, so if you're finding, like I did, the prospect of staying in the United States and only making what the government has given you, stolen from you, no politics, then presuming you're making over $1,000 a month in Social Security or your pension or whatever, in my opinion, and my lifestyle has made it so that I can live quite comfortably. If you have any questions about this, comment down below, and I'll be happy to answer any of them. If there's anything you want me to talk about in these videos, I'm more than happy to address those things. I know many expats, men, are going to ask me about women, and we can talk about that. Uh, in the Philippines, which many of you are familiar with, younger women date and marry older men. Um, I've been single now for over 2 years, so I haven't really delved into any of that. I may in the future, but being a single man, retired man, you can live comfortably under $1,000. If you make $1,500 a month, then, which is I think maybe the average now for Social Security, you can live quite well. You could live in a very nice apartment. Um, you could go out a lot. Again, if you made $2,000 a month, then forget about it. You can live pretty much any way you want to. So I hope this brings some of you some hope about seeing other countries, becoming an expat, living abroad, living well, enjoying your life, not having to pinch pennies. And I would ask again that you like and subscribe to my channel. Um, Hit the little bell button and you'll know every time I come up with a new video. I've been doing them every day now, but just because I have something to say, that will probably back off somewhat. And I'm getting some video editing software, and I may start doing a little more than just talking head stuff, and maybe I'll start adding some other factors which will need to be edited into the video. So once again, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and hey, enjoy your life. Take it easy.